Welcome back, everybody. We are here to pull cards for July the 5th. And so we're going to pull cards for every sign, starting with Aries, working our way through Pisces. This is a quick way for you to hear things like what kind of energy is coming in for your sun sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, if you're interested in love or if you're interested in money, your Saturn sign, if you're interested in what you need to be disciplined about, your Jupiter sign, if you're interested in learning what's expanding in your life. So lots of different things to be had from a quickie little reading like this. Let's go ahead and start pulling the cards out. That feels right. Aries. You guys have the Four of Water. Now, Four of Water to me just says that you're feeling kind of bored today. You're feeling like there is more that you could do and that you wish people would trust you to handle bigger responsibilities. And you may be talking to somebody about this idea of how do I get to have bigger responsibilities? You know, what's it going to take for you to let me do that? Next up, we're looking at Taurus. Taurus, you guys have the Seven of Earth showing up in reverse, and the Seven of Earth in reverse is just telling me that you might have thought that you were getting paid today or getting paid back for something today. Maybe you loaned somebody some money, or maybe it's just payday at work. With this Seven of Earth in reverse, there's some kind of delay here that's not happening exactly when you expect it to happen. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. It's just not happening in the timing that you thought that it would. Okay? Next up, we're looking at Gemini. Geminis, you guys have the High Priestess showing up in reverse. I hate to see that. The High Priestess in reverse means that you're very, very, very confused about something. The High Priestess in reverse is definitely the time when I start pulling cards for myself. It's the time when I recommend people get readings to kind of sort through things, especially if you have to make any kind of important decisions based on whatever this is that you're feeling so confused about. I would definitely get some clarity first. And of course, I have to say I would love to be your reader, so get a hold of me if you are looking for a reader. I would love to do that for you. So, yep, after my shameless plug, we're going to move on now to Cancer. Cancer is what you have showing up here is the Three of Water. This is telling me that you are enjoying some good time with friends during this day. And so this can be in person, does not have to be though. This could be even getting an email from somebody you haven't heard from in a while that you consider a good friend. But definitely just spending some time really enjoying a friendship. Okay, so that is for Cancers. Next up we have Leo. Leos, you guys have the Sun card showing up in reverse. This this is a card that tells me, Leos, that what you're doing is something that makes you feel productive, that makes you feel happy, that you enjoy doing. There's really nobody, you know, breathing down your neck, trying to set you deadlines, trying to tell you do it this way or do it that way. And with it being in reverse, I think not only are you doing whatever this is that makes you feel so good, but you're sharing that experience with someone else. So it's you and somebody else doing this thing or doing these things during the day, Leo. Good for you. That's one of the better cards that you can actually get, I think, at least for a daily energy. Now, looking next at Virgo, here we have the Nine of Earth. Nine of Earth is basically just telling me that Virgos, you're feeling very independent, very self-sufficient. You're doing things in a very confident way, with the emphasis on independent, independently confident. I like that. All right, so that is for Virgos. Next up, this is Libras with the Two of Water showing up in reverse. Two of Water in reverse is telling me that there's something in your life, whether it's an activity, a hobby, a person's company, something that you used to really enjoy, and now, not so much. Now you could kind of take it or leave it. At least for today, you're feeling like you could kind of take it or leave whatever this is. All right, so next up, we're going to take a peek at Scorpios. Scorpios, we have the Seven of Fire. This card is really a good depiction of it. The Seven of Fire really talks about this whole idea of, if you think of the kids game, King of the Hill, it talks about holding your ground, you know, not letting other people walk all over us, that type of thing. So this is setting boundaries and maintaining those boundaries so that we don't have people taking advantage of us or walking all over us, so that we are kind of sheltered or defended from some of the things that make us feel more vulnerable out in the world. Okay, and this can have to do with setting boundaries for one person or setting boundaries at work for a group of people, but this has to do with setting boundaries just to basically, for self-maintenance, so people aren't running all over us. Next up we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you guys have the Justice card. This tells me, I feel like what's going on here actually, this is coming in a little different than what it usually does for me. But I feel like what's going on is you have a decision that you have to make today, Sagittarius, and that decision is one that has to do with something that happened. And this thing that happened did not have a good outcome, and you're basically having to really figure out those people who were in control of that. Did they start off with the intention of having that negative outcome? Or did they start off with good intentions, things went off track, and they didn't know how to get them back on track? So you're having to decide that. And I think the reason you're having to decide this, Sagittarius, is because, if they started off with negative intentions, then obviously there's some type of action that needs to be taken to make sure that that's not something that's repeated. And if they didn't start off with negative intentions, but things got out of control and they didn't know what to do about that, then that's more about just educating that person on how to handle that situation. So that's why you're having to make this decision, because you're having to decide, which way do I go with this? Is this a disciplinary action type of thing, or is this a remedial training type of thing? What's going on here? So that's what I see you having to make a decision about today, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Eight of Air. So Eight of Air talks about being limited, but being limited by our own selves, being limited by our own perspective, not knowing how to go forward, because in our minds there isn't a clear path forward. But the truth is there's nobody else putting limitations on us except for us doing that to ourselves with our own perspective. So the advice always when this card comes up is try to look at this a little bit more objectively, or look at this through somebody else's eyes, and then see what you come up with then as far as perspective, because that should really help you break free from whatever this limitation is that you're putting on yourself. All right, so that's Capricorn. Next up we have Aquarius. So Aquarius, what you have showing up is the Temptation card. This does talk about either fears, addictions, obsessions. But when it comes out in reverse, it says that there's something that used to have power over you that is a fear, an addiction, or obsession that no longer has power over you whenever you bump into it today, Aquarius. You kind of give it the 1-2 knockout punch. It no longer makes you fearful, or you no longer cave to that obsession or that addiction. Okay, so we like to see that. That's a victorious card there. Next up, we're looking at Pisces. So Pisces, what you have is the Two of Fire. And the Two of Fire is a card that tells me you have some type of decision to make here today, Pisces. And with this decision, there's really not a wrong choice. Whatever you choose is going to be a good choice. I think the only time anybody has a hard time with this decision is trying to figure out, because there are good options, multiple good options, like which one do I want to leave behind? Because you're not able to follow all of them. You just don't have the resources to follow up on all of them. So choosing something, no matter what you choose, it's going to be good. You're fine. Okay? So that covers everybody. Thank you so much for being here and sharing some of your precious time with me. Don't forget, we're pumping up this channel to 7 million. So if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. Also, share, comment, like, everything that you can to help support this channel. I do appreciate it, everyone. You all have a fantastic day, and I'll see y'all back on the next video. Peace out.